Okay, so make sure you go to the Link School app and watch the previous class, okay? Just to refresh your brain on what we did.
Yesterday we did something very easy, so I don't think there is need for me.
Okay, so while we wait for others, um, make sure you go get some pictures ready, whether you want to download it or anything you want to do with it. Just be getting pictures ready, like because the website we'll be creating today is a family website about your family. Okay, it mustn't be your main family pictures. Might just get some pictures that looks like a family or something.
I'm
I don't
using
know
my
if you
mom's
understand. Just
laptop, so Miss Oluchi, I'm using my mom's laptop and my mom's phone is connected to her laptop. So I already have thousands of pictures of my family on her.
oh, okay,
Yes.
that's wonderful. So it's
Yes.
actually pretty easy for you, but all you need to do is to create a folder still if you want to, or you can just copy the pictures and drop it there, just like how you added
There,
the other table.
there are exactly like 5,010 images and videos there.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
That's how much
that's
we spend
nice.
on our videos.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So everybody go get images. Okay, or else you don't want to be like follow through with what I'm teaching today. You can just stay and look at me if you want to. Because we'll be doing a lot today. You know, yesterday we finished on time, but it will not happen the same way today. This is our last class, and we are going to build a website. So yeah, you have to get pictures and you have to go and wash your eyes because you will need it badly today. You also need to go and read your brain if it's possible because
Very
you need to
funny.
grab as much as you can. Good morning. Oh,
I said that's very funny.
okay.
Emma. Good morning, ma.
Wherever you go, that's where I fall. I'm a Oh, if I'm morning, how are you?
Morning,
I'm
ma.
fine. I'm fine, and thank you.
David, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good too. Thank you.
Miss Oluchi, how about you review our assignments now before other people come?
Chantel, do you want
MIT.edu. Then once you click on join Scratch, it will take you to scratch.mit.edu.
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Your voice is loud.
yes,
Scratch.mit.edu/join. So I chose Nigeria as my country. Now, Mirabel, can you see my
and if format today is the last time I'll be teaching you for this program. Tomorrow you'll be showing me something, your project. That's noisy background. So yeah, today is the last time I'll be teaching you, but tomorrow you will be showing me something at least. Now, all of you, you have to listen attentively to today's class so that you can apply most of the things I'll be doing to your
father? Is doing
already existing projects. Chantel, your background is noisy.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning, Victor. Welcome, everyone. So, I don't know if people just joined now, but should I be creating a website and I'll need you to have images already. If you don't have and you just don't want to be practicing while I do it, you can always stay and listen.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good morning.
Good
Good morning. So, this is 10. We'll be starting the class immediately. Hope you are ready for me. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, that's good. So, if you know your background is noisy, please do well to mute yourself because today I wouldn't want any setbacks because of noise. I might be setback because of your questions, but not noise. I will not take it. This is an important class, so we have to all be as calm as possible. So I'll be sharing my screen now because we
Ma,
have
can
a
you hear
lot.
noise in my background?
Your own background? No, I don't think so. No,
Okay.
good. So now this is me sharing my screen. So yes, welcome to. Eh, I is not presenting. The heck. Good. So now welcome to our final project, and we'll be creating a family website. And our goal is to create a complete multi-page website. I might not complete the rest of the pages, but I'll do something to show you how to complete the rest yourself. So what do I mean by multi-page? It means that it will take us to different pages. We'll have different pages that we'll be going to. Okay, we'll design an engaging homepage. We'll create individual profile pages for family members. And then we'll apply all the skills we've learned. Okay, project overview. We'll build a homepage with family photo and introduction. A navigation menu, that one is a must to all pages. Then individual profile pages for each family member, and then family activities or interests page. Now, how do we plan this on our website? That's why I said you should gather some contents. I already have mine. Okay, I already have what I'll be using, the images I'll be using, and then you plan the pages. Like I taught you yesterday, nobody will beat you if you decide to sketch how you want your website to look like. Okay, you can decide to do that, and the next thing that comes after this is creating the HTML structure. After creating the structure, what do? You style it, you beautify it. After doing the beautification, you test and then you improve. How do you test and improve? By asking people around you, how is this? Should I use a different color? Is this okay? And then whatever thing they say, you stick with it. Okay, now the next thing we'll have to create is the website structure. What do I mean by the structure? All the pages we'll be needing for this website will be created. And for our homepage, that first thing that people see when they come to the website, we will say index.html as our homepage. And then we'll also create another one for family members. We'll do mom.html, dad.html, sister.html, brother.html. If you have a pet, you can say pets.html, and it's optional though. Okay. Uh So when you're gathering the content, what you will need is what? A family photo for your homepage, individual photos of family members. You will need to have a short description for each person, and then family activities or interests. Then if you want to add family motto or some fun facts about your family members, that's fine. Now sketching, I've already told you what to do about this. You sketch how you want the pages to look. The homepage design, this will have the header with a website title, a family photo, a welcome message, a brief family introduction, now navigation, which is navigation to other pages, then footer with copyright. Okay. Then for the profile page design, what are we going to be doing? We'll add photo of the family member that we want to talk about, then name and their role in the family, and then their about section will be like their age, their personality, a lot of things, their favorites, food, color, hobby, and then fun facts about them. Then navigation back to homepage. So you should make sure your navigation is still pages. Then the activities pages. This is the part where you can decide to add photos of family activities, descriptions of what you do together. Maybe you've gone for a vacation and you have the pictures, or you went for a picnic or wedding together. Anything that you have done, you can always do that in this particular page. And then this is the basic HTML structure that we already know. And then after creating the structure, what will come next is creating the navigation bar and the header. So, guys, if you're still with me, should we dive straight to our VS Code?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. But would we be creating
Hmm?
a new desktop folder?
We'll create a different folder for this. Okay, for this project. Okay, this is a different website.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am.
Paula, can you try to talk so I can know whether it's my device that's not
Hello,
working?
hello. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
I can hear you,
Talk.
Paula. Maybe she's having technical issues.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hi,
Ah,
can you all hear me? My network is
Oh, you're
so
back.
bad. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So now let's go straight and let me share my screen with all of you. Entire screen. I'll share. Now you all can still see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now what I will be doing now is we will be creating a new folder for this particular website we're trying to build. Okay. So what I will be doing now is we will be creating a new folder for this particular website we're trying to build. Okay. So now let's go straight and let me share my screen with all of you. Entire screen. I'll share. Now you all can still see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what I will be doing now is we will be creating a new folder built. Now I'll be going to my desktop. So you know how to create a folder. Just MDM folder. Go to folder. I'll give it my family. My family. Have you done the same thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll go to the desktop, go to our file explorer, my family, click on it, right click and open. Try and see if you can see. Click on show more if yours doesn't say open with. Now this is what I'm doing. I right clicked. I'm looking for where I can open with VS Code. I'm not seeing it here, so I'll go to more options. So I've seen my VS Code right here. Open with code, and that's exactly what I want to do. I am opening it with.
Ma'am, it's showing open in terminal.
No, are you talking about your file explorer?
No, like when I want to open my family, saying open a new tab, open a new window, pin to quick access, open in terminal.
Not this. Look, you can see my screen.
I
Like
can't.
family
Yes, you
guide.
can name it. Yes, you can name it anything you want to name it. I'm just giving it a name. You can decide to name it anything, okay? As long as it connects to family, so you know that this website is what you built for your family. Okay, now Chantel, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see the screen now.
So you click on show more. Are you seeing something like this in yours?
Ma'am.
Now go and search for open with.
But it's not showing there.
I don't.
No, ma'am.
Hmm?
Not
It's
showing.
not
It's
working.
saying give access. No, ma'am.
Okay. Go back to your VS Code. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, ma.
This meeting is being recorded.
Stop talking. What happened was it's her network.
It's not
That's how it has been since
happening.
I joined the class.
Has anyone here opened it with VS Code?
I've
So
opened using the VS Code, Visual Studio Code itself, instead of using the way you just.
need
Okay.
because it's not working on my laptop.
From the file, right? Yes. If you cannot open it from your.
This meeting is being recorded.
I selected it now. It's open. So are we all together? Now we are creating our first file, and I told you that we'll be creating a home page that will be what index.html. Now because I'm trying to be as fast as I can because really have much. So I wouldn't want to be um so much. If you have a question, you
Let
can
me
ask.
stop.
You have to be like active. You have to be active. Now I'm trying to create the HTML structure. Now this is my structure. I will rename the title. I will say my family. Let me just say beautiful family will be our title. Now mind you that I'm doing this in the head. Beautiful family. My beautiful family. Okay. Are you all with me? Are you still seeing my screen?
Yes, ma.
Yes,
Wow.
Yes, ma.
Good. Now what we want to create now is our navigation bar. But before then, let me create the rest of the files. Create more files now. Create more
Oh,
files.
ma,
Let's
like how
say
many?
like the names you have that.html,
Hmm.
that.html. The
Okay,
next
ma.
one will be mom, mom dot
Mom.html.
good.
Something is
Another one will be sister
dad. Dad.
dot
but
html.
I don't have a sister. Should I still put sister
Huh?
there? I don't have a sister.
If you don't have any sister, you can use your friend. Brother.html. You can use your
And
friend.
I don't have a brother. I only have a sister.
Okay.
I don't have a brother.
Oh, you have a sister, you don't have a brother. You just say your sister. You can decide to just make it your mom and your dad as well. Anything you want to do. You can actually add your or even toy, your favorite toy.
But would that be
Dot
would
h.
that be a section for yourself? Like if I'm the one created it, would it be a section for me?
You can say me. You can say me. Dot ht. Want to talk about yourself? Add your cute images. Anything you want to create is what you're doing.
Let's see.
It can be
I want
absolutely anything. And then the next thing I want to do now is I want to go and add the images I'll be using for this website. I taught you people how to add images to your to patch some images. Now I already have some images in a folder. The image I want to use for my where is this noise coming from?
This meeting is being recorded.
You already know I've already taught you this header. This is where
the title.
What is always found in the header?
The title.
Good,
Title.
good. So where is header always located?
At the top left. At the top.
Good,
Top.
good. So now, like I said, the header is the tag for what should be at the top. And it contains a logo. It contains it contains a title, and most of the time, a lot of times, you can see navigation bar right beside it. You know that, right?
Yes, ma.
Quickly, we'll start. Okay. Quickly, we'll start creating navigation bar. And first of all, we'll be creating a logo and um, we'll create a logo. Now, what do I mean by logo? You only add a logo by using the image tag. But since I don't want it to mix up with something else that I'll be doing, I'll be putting it in a div. And this div will now hold. I don't understand this noise I'm hearing. I don't understand this noise I'm hearing. Please. This is because I know that you'll be asking me questions. So if you know your background is noisy, do me the favor of muting yourself because I might not mute you. I might just send you out of the class. Okay? I'm still
Okay.
complaining and someone is there listening to what I don't know. Good. Since I want to create a header that has a title and logo, add logo. It's just the same thing as adding an image tag. The difference is that I'll make it smaller.
Miss
Okay,
Oluchi,
I'll
your
just resize
network
it.
is bad.
And then what a H12 text. I will myself now why I go all the way to get
Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Matter.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. The next thing I want to create is add an image here.
Mm.
Can someone see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma.
You all can still see my screen, right?
Yes, ma.
Oh my god, your voice is glitching. Is my voice glitching as well?
No, ma.
Yes, your
Okay.
voice is glitching from my side.
Your voice
Yes,
is
ma.
glitching from my side.
My voice is glitching.
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
Wow. Even now?
No.
Yes, your
No, ma.
voice is still glitching.
So, Yochi, I think you should stay closest to your internet router. I think that will make the situation better.
Your voice
Yes,
is
I actually
cracking.
pretty close to it. See, I will mute everybody now. Tell me in the chat if it's too bad when I do that. So I'll know what I'm doing. Can you hear me? Is my voice glitching at this point? Can you also hear me? Is my voice glitching? Is it glitching? Yes or no? It's still glitching. A little. So you oh my god. So can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Is it still glitching? Okay. Can't even hear. Okay. Chantel, if you what do you mean by yes man, no ma? Clinton. Don't worry, let's go back to the class. Try and listen. I'll unmute, let's say, two persons. Quickly indicate if you want to be unmuted, just two. So I'm unmuting Chantel. Just make sure your background is not noisy. And someone else indicated after Chantel. It was me. David, I will mute you, but make sure your background is not noisy. So just two now. Then later I will unmute more persons. So is my voice still glitching at this point?
No, ma. It's not glitching.
Okay. So David, your
Yes, ma.
background is actually noisy. So I'll give you a little chance and then I'll have to mute you back. Now back to our code. We've not even started, and you people are wasting our time like this. Abi network is killing us like this. It's fine. Now
It is.
the I've added
So,
an image and the title. The image I want to add. Let me select the images I have. I want an image that has a family inside. Okay, let's check. I want to use. Should I use this? I think I'll use this now. Generated by image something. So now to my image source, this is where I will do the call my folder, which is farm images.
should I be
Then there's
writing
something
the code while you're putting it down, or you're going to send the code to the chat so I can write it?
okay, you can if you want to rewrite it and you feel you'll be fast enough doing that, it's fine. But then you can as well just listen to me and see how I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. And see how I'm doing what I'm doing. Then later you can always try to do it yourself and I'll still paste this code definitely. Now I have added this logo and image. Let's see how fat our logo is looking. Let's see. Now it's looking big, and this is not how a logo
It's
looks.
too big.
It's not how a logo looks at all. Yes, I will still resize it, but what I'm doing first is let me create a structure that I'll work with. So the next thing I want to create is a nav, and nav always has a UL, and the UL comes with what list. Now, since we want it to be linking to, I'll have to add what tag do you use to link? Let me go back to the chat and see your messages. What tag do you use to link chats, links, pages, and all? What is that HTML tag you use for it? Reply me in the no. I'm not talking about the link tag, which is where you do the pages and stuff. There's another link that you use for linking, for adding different pages or linking an external website. What is the name of that tag? Good. The A tag. Wonderful. A tag. Okay. Let's go back. So now, since I want to be linking pages inside my LI, I will add A. And this is where I'll be linking the pages I have. Okay. Let's say I name this. Let me just, first of all, what I want to do is let me duplicate it because this is our navigation bar. What exactly do we want to have? How many pages do I want to have? Let me start with five first. I'll paste here, paste here, and paste again. So the first one should be family, which is your home, which is this first thing that they are seeing. Now, what do I link it to? I link it to this page that I'm working on. Okay, this is my home page. I can either decide to name it home or name it family, depending. But most of the time, people use home. But since we are just creating a family website for ourselves, you can use family so that when they click on this, they see the general page, which is my index.html. Now, how do I link? I do that using what? This index. It's already giving me the suggestion. And now I have linked it to this first thing I wrote here. The next thing I want to have is that. Dad should be next. And Dad already has a page, even though we've not designed it, and it's called dad.html. The next one is mom. Okay, no, no, no. Next, and now I am linking mom because we already have the page mom.html. The next one is brother, and the href will be brother the html. It's giving me the suggestion because I already have the pages here, even though I've not styled it yet. So the next one is let's say me or sister, and the sister. Oh, where did I write this? No, 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 no. I'm not writing it in the right place. You all. I wrote mom outside it, even though it might still work. Well, let's just put it in between, like we have been putting in others. Control V. Brother, I did not write my brother well. Control X. Control V. Okay. Um. Control. Let's remove this one from here, and then paste it here. Now my sister is already linked, and it's sister.html. Chantel, your background is noisy.
This meeting is being recorded.
She Can you all hear me now?
Yes, ma. I
Yes,
can hear
ma.
you.
Please, I'm so sorry. It's frustrating. My network is really, really messing with me. Now I'll go back to the VS Code immediately. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
Good. So now you can see that our structure is looking this way, and it's looking weird because there's no nav bar that looks like this. So this is where we'll start doing our styling. And I told you that I asked you a question. I don't know if you replied me in the chat, but all the chats have cleared. Let's see if I okay, it hasn't cleared. Uh, so I asked you a question, and none of you have given me an answer. How many children do you think the header has? Like according to this thing you are seeing here, how many children? I'm not talking about grandchildren, because these are the grandchildren of the header. How many children, direct children, do you think this header has?
Two children,
Two, and what are they?
the div and the nav.
Good. So these are the direct children of the header. Forget that the children already opened their mouth and gave birth to another. This is another child that gave birth to one, which is the UL, and the UL gave birth to a lot of LI. Okay, this is how it works. So if I want this LI to flex now, what I'll be targeting is what is containing them, which is the UL. If I want the whole thing here, the two, like this and this to flex, I'll be targeting the header. So now I'll go to our style. I'll call the header tag header display what flex. Let's see how it's looking at this point. Now it is displayed as flex, even though it's not looking how you want it to be, but then it's a gradual process. You display as flex. What I would do next is I will justify content to be space between. Do you know why I want to make it space between? So that this one will be here and the other one will go to this side. Don't worry, like this whole thing is just little by little, little by little, and you're already making a full website. So now let's justify content by making it justify content space between. Then the next thing is align items center. I'm aligning everything to the center, not center of the whole screen, just center of the header. Now let's see if it has gone to this side. Now this is where it is at this point, and it's coming here because the image here is already too big. Now to style the image, I want to reduce the size so that it will look like a logo. What do I do? You'll be learning a lot of new things I've not said before today. So make sure you are actively listening and taking notes of anything you've not learned before. Now, I'll go back to my index.html, and what I want to style here is my image. First of all, I want to give the div a class logo image is what I want to give as a class name. Now, I want to reduce the size of my image, and if I decide to just call the image tag and say logo image whatever logo, I give it if I decide to say image to just pick out the image element, which is the image tag, and give it a general style, if I add other images, it will affect it. I can also decide to give this image a class name. Okay, I can decide to give it a class name, but then I told you there are general selectors. Like before, I taught you that you can merge two elements by saying something, comma, another element, give it an equal style. Did I teach you something like that?
Yes, ma.
Do you remember? Good. Now, what I want
Yes.
to do is good. Now, what I want to do is I want to call a container. You can actually call a container and ask the container to get a particular element inside it. Now, this is a container. I can decide to call this container and say, give me div. Now, this is another container. I can decide to call this container and say, give me image. How do I call it? Using whether you want to use the element selector, but in this case, I don't want to use the element selector. So I've already given it a class name. So now, since I want to start this image here, I can go back and I don't want to give it a class name. I don't feel like. I can decide to if I want to. But I want you to learn this method because it will help you. It makes it easier for you. Now, since I have this logo the image as a class name of the div containing these two children, I can decide to come here and say logo name. Logo, let me do show I so I don't go and write another name. Let me just go and copy the name I gave it. I will say Control C, go back to my style.css and say dot Control V. I've pasted the name. I've said dot logo image. Can you give me the image inside of you? That is, can you give me the image here? That means what it has done is it has told me that okay, I've opened the door and that door is the logo image, and it has channeled me inside my parlor, and my parlor is the image. Okay, this is just like telling the box you are opening your saving box and you want to remove 15 naira from it. So I've told my box, which is the div, this is the div, and the name I gave the div is the logo image. I've opened that div and I've told it to give me the image inside of it because I want to style it. Now, mind you, I do not add any comma. So I can decide to now start what? Styling this image now because I've called it out. And this image is now reserved to the box. This box is what's showing the image. So now it will not apply to every image I have because I called the box containing it first before doing my styling. I don't know if this makes sense.
But ma, we didn't call the div, did we? We
You
didn't call the
called,
div.
now go back and see that the div already has a name and the name is what? Logo image. So we are still calling our div. Do you understand?
Oh, okay, ma.
Good. We did not call the div because I might add another div and it will affect it. So I gave that particular div I want to work with, I gave it a class name of logo name. So still I am calling my div because that's the name of my div. Okay, does it make sense? Does it? Do you understand? Can you all still hear me? Do you understand? Yes. Okay, good. We continue. Let's continue. I muted people because it stopped you people from hearing me. It's not like I want to mute everybody. I just muted most of you because it is causing a lag. I want you all to still hear me, okay? I will unmute more people later, but for now, so that we understand what's going on, we can just only unmute few persons. Now let's continue. When I unmuted everybody, it was dragging the whole thing. My voice was glitching. So now I have given it a width, my image. Let's see if it worked. Can you see my image is now small?
Yes,
Can you see
ma'am.
that? Because yes, what I did is I targeted the one I want to style without giving it a class name. I can also give it a height of 40 pixels. Let's see what it will look like. I've given it this height of 40 pixels. Now I want to make my logo rounded, which is the image. I want to make my image rounded. What I'll be using is what border radius, and I'll give it 50%. Let's see. Now I have gotten what I want. It's rounded as much as I want it to be. Are you all still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. The next thing we need to do now is, now you can see that according to this image, according to how websites look like, the title and the logo are meant to stay side by each other. They should be together now. That means we're meant to do a flex here so that it will come up here. Okay? How do I do that? I go back to my index.html and see if it's already inside a container. And wow, yes, it's inside a div already. And I only need to say, call this logo image and display it as flex. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. So we're just calling the div.
Yes, we are just calling that div, not div. We're calling the class name I gave it because I might be using div again. So does it make sense?
No, ma.
Huh?
Yes, ma. It makes sense.
Okay. So dot the logo image. Now I'm not giving it, I'm not trying to call something inside there. I am just trying to call the container itself. Okay, like we've always been doing, and I'll display it as flex. Flex. Let's see if it has flex. Can you see it has flexed? Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now what I'll do is I will justify it.
Mm.
Justify content center. Justify content center. Control Z. Justify content center. Align items center. Let's see if it's aligned as much as I want it to. Good. Now it's aligned properly. And then the next thing I will be first of all, it's aligned, but it's so close to my logo. I want it to have a little bit of space. How do you add space in Flex?
Gap. Using the gap.
Yes, good. Let's add a gap. Our gap might be 5 pixels. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. I need help, Kamal. Okay, let me see your question. Good. I use brown, all of you. Don't be angry. I write it doesn't show in the index.html. Yes, it's not supposed to show. I don't understand. Did you link your did you link your page? Eze, did you use the link tag to link the CSS to your index.html? Huh? Okay. What I'll do now is Let me copy the code and paste the one I've done so far. I'm pasting the entire thing I've done so far because I don't understand why you are still lost when we have created a navigation bar before. So this is the index.html.
Yeah.
Index.html. Well, I'll be pasting the style.css now. Control A, Control C. I've pasted the style.css now. I just hope you all are still with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So now back to our code. We've already created the navigation bar and the hover that comes with it. Hover. And I added this hover by doing a colon hover. And I told you how to add a line by doing text decoration. Either you want to remove a line or you want to add a line, you can use it, do text decoration, and you can set it as none or you can set it as line through or underline. So I chose the underline because I want when I hover it to what? Underline it. So that's good. And the next thing I want to work on now is the hero page. There is something called the hero page, and this is the page that comes right after the navigation bar. The hero page is where you see like something about that page, an image most of the time. So that is what we'll be creating now. Are you all still with me?
Yes, ma.
Still in the index.html, I will be creating now. This is where I bring in my main, the main, and just a section that I've
Ma,
started
is it
working on
still in
my.
the header? Is it still in the header?
No, the where is the header? Oh my god! Thank you for the observation. Thank you for this observation. It's supposed to be the header. Okay. Thank you for this wonderful observation. So I'll comment something and say this is our main section. Section. It's not even necessary, but just because I want to play around with my comments. But now this is the main, and I want to create a section. I told you section helps you group things together, related things, just for the sake of it. Now, what I want to group here is, let me just straight up group my div. I've added a div inside the section. Okay, and can you see
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
your background is noisy? Etwa, I mute you, please. So this is the H2. You should have the title. This is where the title will go into. So I have something already drafted out that I'll be using. I told you to, I'll say welcome to our family website, exclamation. And I'll say here, you can find information about us, our adventures about us. Okay. And our favorites, favorite memories. Okay. The next thing I want to have is an image right next to it. And I'll still look for. Can you all still see my screen?
Yes.
So I'm not
Yes,
talking to
ma'am.
myself. Good. I want to use this image, nothing like a solid foundation. So I'll still call my folder and type nothing. Okay, I've chosen it. Let's see how it's looking now. Let's see the HTML structure of how it's looking. Now we have a text, we have an image, but it's not looking pretty. I don't want it to look this way. I don't want it to look this way. So what I'll do is I will now do something. What should I do? Okay, first of all, let's add a button. First of all, let's add a button. And because I want to add a button, that means I will be taking this image out of this group. I'll be taking it out of this group. I'll place it here, and it will be a tag on its own. Okay, it will be a tag on its own. While inside my which inside this div, I want a button because I want the text and the button to stay together. So I'll create a button and I will say view gallery, or let's say see, let's say gallery, something like that. So that when they click on it, it takes them to a page where you'll be creating a gallery. I'll not be creating that myself because we might not finish it today if I keep creating everything that comes to my head. So now I want it to have a button while it has an image still. I don't know, how did I get rid of the image I had here? Nothing. Okay. So let's see. I have a button now. I have a text. I have my image. This is the HTML structure. At this point now, this is where the CSS comes in. This is where the CSS comes in. And how do I now do the CSS? I will go and look at my favorite. It's not a good spelling. So you have to observe it because I'm not even seeing my screen clearly. My eyes are turning. Okay, good. Favorite memories and the image that comes with it, the button. So what do I want to do now? Now, according to this, do you think the div and the image has a mother, that is a parent? Do you think? Can you all still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think this my div and this image has a mother? Do you think it has a parent? Do you think there's something shielding it? Can you also see my screen? Do you
I
think
can't hear you clearly.
is my voice glitching again? Does the div and the image have a parent? That's my question.
Yes, ma.
What is a parent?
The D.
No. This is the div. This is an element. This is another element. Forget that the div has something inside of it. This is the div is a parent. Okay,
The
the div is a
section.
parent. Yes, the section is the parent of the div and the image. So now I can decide to, because I'll be having more sections, I'll give it a class name so that when I'm styling this particular one, I know that I'm styling it. Okay, I will say class name first section, and let me display it as flex since I already have a mother container, which is the section. Let me display it as. Are you all still following?
Yes, ma.
Are you the only one here? Muted.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Paula just muted herself.
Paula, are you muted on purpose? King David, are you following? And the way this class is peaceful, I'm enjoying it. So if you come inside, if I unmute you now and you make any noise, I'm sending you back. So if you are all still following, we'll continue now to start our section. What do I mean by the section? This is this one where the hero page is. I told you what the hero page is. It's the part you see something captivating. Good. So now I want to display this first section, which is the section. It's still the name of the section. Now I will go and I'll say display what? Flex. I've displayed it as what? Flex. And let's see. Now the text and the image have displayed as flex. At this point, this is where you decide to what? Style it. What I want to do is I want to reduce the size of my image and I still want it to be round. That is what I want to do. So I will do something like this. I will do something like this. Let me go back to the index.html that I'm working on. I will give this div. Since the div, okay, I will call the first section and call it child. Since I want to style the image, just like when we were trying to style this image here, I called the logo and then I called the child I want to style. So now for this one as well, this image is not inside a div. The image is still the child of section. So it's div and image are the children of section. So I can decide to say first section, give me image. And it will work because you are talking about the child. So now I will say dot first section. I just hope that we don't get confused. You can decide to give it a class name if it becomes hard. I can say the first section image and I'll give it a width of, let's say, 300 pixels. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, it's okay. Let's give it a height of 300 pixels. Let me increase the width. Let's change it to 350 and height of 350. Height of 350. Let's check it out. Okay, it's this way. I might increase the width later if I want to. So now I want it to be rounded. I don't want it there looking like one block. I want it rounded, so I'll give it what? A border radius. I tell some people, why am I not hearing anything at all?
I don't know.
Are you all still here with me?
Yes, ma.
Paula.
Yes, ma. I got disconnected, so that's why I got muted.
Okay, that's fine. Emmanuel, I unmuted you as well. She? Oh, so make sure your background is not noisy if I click on the unmute. So now we'll go back. I hope you're still following at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
So I'm giving that image a border radius of 50%. I told you what happens when you add the width and height. I'm using an equal width and height. So if I'm getting 50%, it's not circular. It's not completely a circle. It's an oval, but
I have a question.
I'll manage it. Okay, what's your question?
Don't
For that picture that you put in your background, right?
Which one? This picture in my hero page? I can't hear you.
No, that one that you are putting in the background.
Yes.
Can you put any picture, only your family picture?
That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to use your own family picture. I don't want to use my family. You can use your family picture, or you can decide to download something else and put there. Something that looks like a family. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Any way you want to do it, good. So I'm going to increase the width of my image because I feel it's too small. So I'm making it 400. Oh, I made it 4,000. 400, and I'll make my height 400. It's increasing, but it's not getting as rounded as I want it to be, but that's fine. It's still okay this way. And what I'll do is this. The next thing I want to do is I want to align. When we did the flex, we did not justify, we've not aligned. So let me align all of them to be in the center. This is where I did the flex, which is a section. Align items, center, justify, content.
Now, please, may I
Center.
remind you of what yesterday
What is it?
about that my website of how people can see.
Okay, I told you that I will talk about it after this class. I don't know why it's so important when you have not even learnt what I'm doing here. Huh? Can you listen to me at least?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So now let's all finish
Very
up
daddy.
with this. It's fine, it's fine. Let's finish up first before we talk about other things. So now this is how my hero page is looking. This is how it's looking. But the text is too long. I want it a little bit shrinked. I want it a little bit shrinked, and I want to give my section a background color. So what I'll do is in that section I will give it a background color. I will give it background color of bisque. Let's see how it's looking now. I'm giving it this color, and I want to increase the height of this section because it's taking up the height of the image. I want it to have a height on its own, and the height will be. Are you all still following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm giving
ma.
it a height of. Let's see what good. Giving a height of 400 pixels, and it's not good enough. I will increase it to 500. I'll reduce it to 450. It's too much. I'll reduce it to 450. 450, and let's see. I feel this is suitable. So can you see our web page is coming up a little by little?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
see? So now I want my text to be shrinked a little bit. What will I do? I will go and I'll target same way I targeted image, which is the child of this first section. I will target the second child. Okay, no. Now at this point I'll have to give this div a class name. I'll give it a class and I'll say um title and image. So title image. Is it image? No, title. Now I will copy this. Control C. Go to the style. Start with a dot as usual. Paste the class name, which is the div that I want to style. Now it's not just the div that I want to style. I want to target something inside that div, just like how we targeted this image here. What I want to target is what here. So I can say title give me H2. Give me H2. So what will I do? I'll say title give me what? So what will I do? I'll say title give me what? H2. Now I want to give that my H2 a width of its own, and now I want to give that my H2 a width of its own, and I'll give it a width of, let's say, 60%. Let's say 60%. Let's see how the 60% will come up looking. It's this way. At this point, it's like this, and let me increase it to. Can you still hear me? Yes, I will increase. Yes, I will increase the font size. But then I
Ma'am,
want to
somebody's
know if I will.
background is cracking.
But can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, mine is not breaking at all.
Fine.
Someone is listening to graphic design class while still in my class. I have complained about it, and you all are still doing what you want. Who is that? Can't tell. Are you still in my class at all?
I understand what you did of
Huh?
the class names you put first section and first section image. I don't understand that.
The class name, which one?
First section.
The first section. Uh huh.
Yes, that's
What?
why I disconnected.
this is where I added the class name. It's just the class name of my section, that section I'm working on.
Okay,
Can
ma.
you see? So this is it. This is what I used to display this to the children, one and two. I used it to display it as what flex.
Okay.
Now, good. So the next thing I want to do is that's what it's looking like at this point. I will increase the font size and I will change my button. First of all, I want it to have a margin left. I want it to have a margin left. Padding, I mean, not out. Margin will shift everything outside. So I want it to have the text, which is the H2, to have a padding left. Or I can even decide to give the entire container a padding left and right. Where is my style? The first section is what I'll be giving the padding left and just the padding right. Padding left 20 pixels, padding right 20 pixels. Less. Now it has given it space here and then space on the right side. So I want to increase the height of this my image. I don't know why it's looking too oval. I will reduce the height to 300. Let's see if it will still be okay at all. So I reduced the height to this, and I think I like it this way. Don't you think?
Yes, it's better like this.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
better. So now what I want to style is the button. The button is what I want to style. Now I will get my button. I can just decide to call the button since I know I already have a button tag and I don't think I'll be using a button. Even if I do, I might decide to use one name. I can decide to still give it a class name, but we don't have much time, so I will be giving it a background color of brown. I'll be giving it color, which is the text inside, of white, since our background is going to be brown. Then I will add a padding of 10 pixels. I will increase the width as well, width of let's say 70 or let's say 100. Let's see how big it will be or how small it will come. Now it's looking like this. I want it to have a margin top. I don't want it so close to my text. Margin top of 30 pixels. I want it to not have a border at all. That black thing I'm seeing, I don't like it. Border none. I hope people are still following because most of the things I'm doing here, I've done it before. And I'll be giving it a border radius of 10 pixels.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So this is how my button is looking now. Okay. I want to add more padding and increase the text size. I increase the font size to 30 pixels. It's so I feel this is good enough. What do you think?
I think it's good, ma.
Yeah, it's actually good. Group the two together since I want my text to just have a button below it. I grouped it together in a div. Then outside of that div, since I don't want the three to just be aligning as flex, I had to outside the div I had to add another child to section, which is the image tag. That's why when I flexed everything, it came this way and this way. If I decide to flex these two now, I can do that by just targeting the div I used to contain both of them. But I don't want to flex it. That's why I'm leaving it this way. I want it to look like this. So do you think it's coming up pretty at this point?
Yes, ma. I
Yes,
think
ma.
please the code for the first section. Can I please see it again?
Yes, ma.
Good. Okay. So let me go and
Yes.
get the code. Let me get the code for you for just first section because I've already pasted everything before. Um
No, I mean like in the CSS, not the index.html in CSS.
okay. the CSS. If you're sure you're using my entire title and then my entire class name and all, that's the only way it will work. But if you're using your own name, that means you have to change it to your own name, okay?
Okay, ma.
So I'm copying it this way. Control C, Control V. Now we are going back to the class. So we are done with this. We're done with the hero page and the navigation bar. What I want to do now is just to add a title here while I begin adding something called image card. Now let me first of all add a title. Back to my index.html. I'm adding a title just outside of the section because I'm done with this section. So I'm just adding a title called, and I'll name it H2. Say, I will say, what am I going to say? My beautiful family. My beautiful family. So, okay. Now, this is it. Let's see how it's looking now. It's looking like this. This is the HTML structure. So we can decide to style it. Either we give it a class name, or we can still decide to style it internally. But because I don't have time, let me just keep styling this one internally. I'll give it a color of brown. Give it a color of brown, and then I'll give it a font size of 60 pixels. Let's see how it's looking. I think it's too big. Let me reduce it to 40 or 50 pixels. Let me reduce it to 40 pixels and see what it looks like. Can you all still hear me at this point?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
So, okay. So, I'll do
Yes,
text
ma.
align. Okay, I'll do text align and center it.
Mm.
I've centered it using the text align. Does it make sense? I've centered my a title here. Are you with
Right.
me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma.
ma.
Good. And I can also decide to give it
Yes,
a
ma.
margin top so it doesn't. Good. I can also decide to give it a margin top so it doesn't stay so close to the other section I have. I'm giving it a margin top of 30 pixels so that it can breathe. Can you see that what I did here is a white space, even though the color is basic, but I'm not clustering anything. It's not cluttered. You have your text breathing here. You can still get it closer a little bit, but that's. I hope you're seeing the web design principles that we learned yesterday, the alignment and everything. Next thing I want to do is to add an image card, an image inside that image that looks like a card. And how do you do that? I will create another. I told you that section is, you can use section for anything that can be grouped together, anything related. So what I want to create here is just for my family's image, just some cards for them. And how do I do this? I can decide to have a div, and inside my div I have an image tag, and then the image tag will have a text. Let's say H3. Now the image I want to use here is, I want to look for the image of my dad. Let me look if I have anything like, okay, okay, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a dad. Let me use this dad here. D07. I didn't rename it, so my names are weird. D07. If so, I'll call the folder name and I'll say D07. I've clicked it. I'll give it an alt of dad and kids. So now dad, dad, and us. This is the title I'm giving it. So let's say the HTML structure. The HTML structure is really, the image is really massive. So we can as well decide to what? Recite. This is a div, right?
Okay.
It's a div, and I'll give the div. It's inside a div. I'll give it a class name of image card, image card. So now in here, are you all still with me at this point?
Yes, ma.
Good. So in the style, I'll go down. As you can see, the code is getting longer and longer as you're adding styles, and that's perfect. You can even write like 1,000 codes without knowing it. I'll do the dots. Hey, Chozy. I thought I got the image. I thought I copied the image card, and I will give my div a width. I want to give it a width of, let's say, 400 pixels. Let's see. It will not reflect because our image is still large. So I've given the div a width of 400 pixels. I will now target the image and give my image 100% of what's inside the div, of whatever shape I gave the div. Now, how do I do that? I will call the. Now, let's go back to this place. Don't get confused. This is second section. I'm giving it a comment. Second section. Second section. And this is the div, which is the mother of image and h3. Just like how we were selecting other ones where we just called the class name and said, give me this. So, does anyone have a question? Do you have a question for me?
No, ma.
So
No,
I'm
ma.
going back to saying that image card, give me image, because what I want to style now is image, because I don't want to go about giving my different images different names. So now I'll say give me the style this image for me, the image inside the image card container. So I'll say the width should be 100% of whatever is, can you see, has reduced to shrink and fit in the 400 pixels I gave the div. Can you see that?
Yes, ma.
Can you see that? If because
Yes,
I
ma.
gave it 100%, it's taking up 100% of the 400 pixels I gave the container holding it. Now I can also make mine to be 300 pixels, and my image will be reducing with it. Now it's reducing with it. This is what it does when you give a container a width and then you resize the image to give you 100% of that. Now I have a div here. I have one card already. And what I'll do is I will um let me get the H, what's that H what?
Two,
H2,
H2.
H3, right? H3, right? Good.
Yes.
So I'll be getting the H3 inside my image card. That's the same way I targeted the image. I'll come here and say image card dot image card. Can you give me H3? Let me style. I'll say text align. I want it to be in the center, and I want my font size to be bigger. Font size should be 30, let's say, yeah, 30 pixels. Let's see what it looks like. It's aligned and it is 30 pixels. I want to reduce it to 25 at least. I hope you people are still following what I'm doing.
Yes, ma.
All of you.
There are some people in the comment that say they need help.
Okay, okay, Zoe, what do you want? You people do not know where I am. What do you mean by you don't know who you are, Zoe? What do you mean? What do you mean by you don't know where you are? Who you are? Eh? You are dramatic. Well, let me unmute you so that you can talk to me. Let's communicate. Then who else am I unmuting? Before Maz. Awake, talk to me. What do you want?
Ma, please, I'm lost. I've
What
always
do you
been
want?
kicked out of the meeting. I don't even know where I am.
Yeah,
I
in web
don't even
development class.
understand what you're doing.
Okay, okay, don't worry. Where are you? What are you doing now? Do you get the part where I created a nav?
Yes,
You did. So what else didn't you understand?
this styling. I got lost when I got kicked out of the meeting, and when I came back, you had changed everything.
You shouldn't be. Don't be like that. You can't cry in my class. Don't get frustrated. Let's go back to the code. Let me show you what I did. Now, can you still see my screen?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So now this is the navigation bar. Zoe, you have to communicate with me. This is the navigation bar, and you know how we styled it, right?
Ma'am?
You know how I styled the header, which is in our.
Yes, ma'am.
Your voice is far away. Where are you
Yes,
going to?
ma'am.
Okay, the header is here. We've styled it, so this one is gone. Now the next we've styled it, so this one is gone. Now the next thing we did is we created another thing called main. I told you about the web page layouts where you have header, main, different sections inside the main, right? Web page layouts where you have header, main, different sections inside the main, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what we're doing is the main, okay? Every other thing apart from the header is the main, and then the main, after the main, you can also have your footer, and the footer is outside of the main. So what we're doing
Okay.
now is we are building the stomach of this web page. We are building this part that you're seeing here. We're just trying to build this entire part that is even scrollable. Okay. Now what we did is this. We have our first section here. This is the first section. It ended here. Started from here and ended here. Created a section. I told you section is just like a container. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't do anything bad to you. It's just like you having a div. A section functions like a div, just that I think the difference is the name. When you use section, you know that okay, I'm creating a section of related content. Okay.
Okay.
Now the first section is this, and inside my section, I have one div. Div is wrapping a text and wrapping a button. This is the first child of my section. I also have another tag, which is image tag, because what I want to have is a text button, then an image right next to it. That's why I had to wrap the text and the button together so they don't leave each other. I wrapped it together.
Okay.
Okay, so now I taught you when you are doing flex, when we did the nav bar, that if you want to flex something, that thing you want to flex needs to be inside a container, right? I taught you that.
Yes, ma'am.
And the container we are using in this case is the section because this section has two children in
Your
this
phone is
case.
there
And
with you.
the children are 1 and 2. These are the grandchildren of section. And I don't care about the grandchildren at this point right now. What I care about is the children that it can flex. So when I gave my class a class name because I know I'll be using section again. I don't want to just go and call section and give it a general style. So I gave it a name called what? First section. I went to my style.css, went to the style.css. First thing I did is I displayed it as flex. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when I displayed it as flex, my button, my text and button, my text still stayed together. The other one went to the right. That means I displayed the div and the image as flex. Or else I decide to still display this particular div as flex. It will still stay here, close to each other like it should be. Okay? I displayed it
Okay.
as flex. And next thing that comes with after flex is aligning the item. I aligned it as center. I justified the content to be center. I changed the background color of that section because, mind you, We are still working on the section, which is this dot first section. That's the class name. Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma.
If you pick a class name, you're already working on the elements you give that name. And it's a container. I display flex, align center, justified center, gave a background color, increase the height of that section, added padding of left and then padding of right to it. And that's how we got this.
20.
I increased the height of my section, added padding here, added another padding here, changed the background color. And then for the image, I styled it on my own still. This is the image. I just said first section, give me what your child called image. Let me style because I don't want to go about and be giving my image a class name. I gave my image a width of 400, gave it a height of 300, then border radius of 50%. Okay, and that's why our image came what looking rounded like this. Can you see that? Because
Okay.
I gave it a border radius, it became round like this one you are seeing here. And I also styled my title because it was looking too long at first. I decided to give it a width. When you do the HTML structure, you know what I styled my title differently. I gave it a width of 70% and it made it shrink a little bit. Then I also styled my button by giving it a background color of brown, color of the text as white, padding 10 pixels, width 100 pixels, margin top 30 pixels, border of none because I don't want my button to have the black border that comes with it. I gave it border radius of 10 pixels. Then I gave it a font size of 20 pixels. So that is me styling my button, and that's the end of that particular section. So do you really understand my explanation?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, ma. With
Now the next thing I did is I just wrote H2. This is just H2. And I aligned it to the center. I aligned my H2 to the center and I gave it a text color. Let me show you. This is my code. This is my index.html. After doing this first section, which you are seeing here, where we did the whole thing, after doing this whole section here, can you still see my screen?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma.
The next thing I did is I just added a H2. And when I added this H2, it went to the left side of the screen. But I said, no, I don't want it to be in the left side of the screen. First of all, I wanted to have a color brown. I increased the font size to 40 pixels. Then I did text align center, gave it a margin top because I don't want it so close to the other section I have. So it will push away from the section. I gave it margin top of 30 pixels. That is how we got this one here looking brown and that has space of 30 pixels here and aligned to the center. Did you get to this point? Did you get it to this point?
Yes, ma. Wait, ma, how did you center it again?
Text align center. Can you see my code here? Look at I did inline styling here, even though we have the external CSS. I did what? Font size 40 pixels, semicolon to tell you that I'm done with that particular style. Then text align, colon, center. Can you see this text align here? Center. Do you get it to this point?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
get to
Yes.
this point, good. So now let me show you the image card I'm still working. Please, as you all can see, I've repeated this and I'm already losing my voice and my mind. I'm tired and thirsty. So I will not be repeating the same thing I did over again. Okay? I just hope, Zoe, I hope you understood it to this point because the next thing I'll be explaining and we'll continue from is the image card. So now this is how I created the image card. I created another section for where I'll still duplicate this because I don't want to have just one card. But then I just decided to create one card first, style it, duplicate it, and then I'll now be changing the image and the text. What did I do? I created a section and I have a div inside the section. The div is just to say that I am welding related items together, which is the image and the H3. I added the image of the father and his kids. Then I added a text. This everything is inside one div. It's inside a bag, just like I always explain. It's inside a bag, and that bag is the div, while you have the content inside of it. So now, how did I style it? I styled it by giving the div a class name first. I gave it a class name of image card. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma.
ma'am.
I gave it a card, which is the div. Now I want to style down my image card by giving it a width, just the div. Oh. I gave the div a width of 300 pixels because I want it to. I'll be adding 3 image cards. I want it to come out with that size of 300 pixels. So this is the div. When I created that div at first, it was 300 pixels, but my image was too big. Okay, my image was too big, and now I resized my image to be 100% of whatever the container is. You command your elements to do whatever you want. So now, since I give the container holding my image, this is the container holding my image, which is the div, which is the image card. I gave that container 400 pixels, but my image is large. So I now said, image, become 100% of whatever container you are in, and the size of the container is 400 pixels. So I gave it 100%. That's why my image was shrunk and entered inside that div, taking up 400 pixels. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
And then what I did is, since it has a text, which is the H3, I styled it here in the CSS. I said, image card, give me H3, because that's a child. It's the child of what? The div of the image card. It's a child that it has. H3, give me H3. I want to style it. And it gave me H3. I added the H3 here, image card space H3. I opened my parentheses and gave it a text align center and font size of 25 pixels. That's how we are. That's why we are here. That's how we got to this point. Did you get that?
Okay.
Did you all get that?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
So now what I want to do now is I want to give my div, that is, I want to give this card a background color. That means I'll be targeting the card, the div, that is the image card here. I'll give it a background color of, I can still use bisque, but then just in a different shade, lighter shade. I told you can use monochromatic colors where you use one color and have it in different shades, right?
Yes, ma.
So now my card has a color. Can you see the color here? You can see from here that it changed because this is the only space that it has. Can you see that it has changed? Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
The color is now different. But then there's a trick I want to show you. There's something that makes a container look like it's floating, but it's not floating. It's a CSS property called box shadow. I want you to go and research on it on your own. What box shadow does is it adds a shadow to a container. Artists make they add shades to what they are drawing to make it look realistic. There's something called box shadow. You just say box shadow here and you give it numbers, just like how you do your normal color. You give it number, it's not the same thing as your normal color. Give it number. I want you to go and learn what box shadow does and play around with it. You give it different numbers depending on how much you want the shade to be. Now I'll be involving my RGBA and I'll give it 0, uh, 0. I'm sure that you people are confused with this. Don't worry, it's not that
No,
complicated.
we
Huh?
do this in JavaScript. We do this in JavaScript.
Okay, you do?
Yes, ma.
Do you do JavaScript?
I
Now, can you
used
see the card? Ah, that's nice. Now the card is looking like an actual card. It has some light shadow. and it's light because I decided to make it light. If I decide to change this number to something else, if I decide to change this number to like let's say 7 pixels, it will affect it. The card forms according to, can you see it's adding more shadow to it? Can you see that?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
It's looking like it's actually floating out of the page. So this is what the box shadow does. It makes it what more realistic. If you add it to your, you can also decide to add it to your button. You can add it anywhere. I can add a box shadow now to my button. Let's go to this button now and say I want my button to have some sort of shadow. Now I'll say what? 0.8 pixels or 16 pixels and RGBA of 0, because this 00 I'm picking is black because hashtag 000 is always this. And then this one will be 0.15 because I want it light. It's my own. So now my button seems to have some sort of shadow. I didn't increase the I didn't increase it because I don't want it to be too much. I just want it to have some sort of natural look. If I increase it to 1, it becomes like it changes to a darker black and a darker shadow. I don't want that. So it will look like something was burnt on my website. I want it to look natural. So that's why I'm using 0.15. So I just want a little bit of what shadow, just something light like this. So now since I've done this, I can now duplicate it. Are you all still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
This is my card. This is what I worked on. So what I'll do is I will copy it and what paste it. I want to have 3 cards. Now it's here like this. It's coming up straight like this. Well, I don't want it this way. I want it aligned. I want it aligned. So what do I do? What do I do? How do I make all these elements to display as flex? What do you think I should do? Where should I target?
The image card image. I think you should target the image card tag.
No. If I target the image card, you know what will happen to it? This image and this H3 will come side by side each other. I don't want to do that. What I want to target is the tags individually to come side by side. Don't bother about what you're seeing inside, or else you want to bother about it. But section is the mother of all this div you are seeing, and it has what 3 children. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So the section here has what div, another div, and the third div. And the div, I've already styled each of them the way I want it to be. I don't want to scatter it. I like it the way it is. So what do I think? What do I need to flex? I need to flex the section itself. So I will name this one what second section. Second section. Oh, I didn't give it a class. Control X. Class. Control V. Second section. I'll go to style.css. Dot second. Let me say dot control V. I copy the name and I will display it as flex because what it will flex is the children, which are the 3Ds there. Don't bother about the grandchildren. I'm talking about the children and displaying it as what flex.
Ma'am, why is my
Now it
text
has displayed.
one side?
Huh?
My
What?
text is not aligning to one side.